If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I want to welcome you, and I want to let you know that we're giving land away on this channel. Sean 2.0 here. Yeah, I was a gray old man yesterday, and I'm a brand new baby boy. I'm serious. I had to diet a little bit because I don't have any gray hair up here, but it's all down here. This isn't even gray. It was white. So, I don't know. I kind of was getting used to the gray. So we'll have to see how that goes for me. But what I wanted to talk to you all about today is there is a governmentsurplus.com website where the government is auctioning off property in the state of Arizona. On this same website, you can buy all kinds of things. Cars, tractors, you name it, it's on there. I've seen gold coins being sold on there. I've seen poop-oops being sold on there. There's all kinds of stuff. Whatever the government seizes, wherever they come from, they put them on these auctions, and you can buy them from the comfort of your home. And so that's what we're looking at today, because there is 131 properties for sale on this website, and the starting bid on some of these were about $400 or $500. Now there's been quite a few bids on some of these properties, and with that said, I want to talk about the previous video. So stay tuned. At the end of that, we're going to talk about something we discovered there, and we're going to dive in right now. So let's start first with our publicsurplus.com. Okay, this is what the screen looks like when you first get to publicsurplus.com. And then right here is your states. Browse auctions within area, okay? So you're going to click in here. I go to Arizona. When you click on this, it'll show you all the states. You click your state. We're talking about Arizona. I don't buy anything anywhere else right now. When you click that, it's going to show everything, because look, there's a lot of stuff. You see up in here, there's a lot to choose from. Look at all these options over here in your left-hand corner. So we're going to come down to real estate. Click on real estate, and wham. This is it, 131 auctions. 131. People, that's a lot of land for sale. Here we have the parcel 309-27015A. And there is no bids on it. It's for $832. It's a lot of money for no bids, right? It's one of the more expensive starting bids. And as you can see, it is 0.13 of an acre. So it's a lot. It's a lot size, essentially. So let's go to where this is at. So this is an interesting place, because you can see it's 52 feet wide. It's right next to this road, and it's 231 square feet, or 231 feet long and 225 feet long, and it goes into this angle. Well, what I find that interesting here is there's really no zoning I can see about this, and it's kind of very strange. If you come up further, you can see right here's the main road. This is Highway 260. So if you keep taking this road, you go up to Payson, Overguard. You come this way, you're going to Sholo, and it's a beautiful area out here. A lot of pine trees, and look at all these houses real close to the road, kind of here. And then you can see here, there's no houses here that I can see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there's any houses in here. No houses here. So what it looks like is it's essentially kind of like an easement to the highway. And it's a very just small slit. That is just very strange. There's going to be, it appears to me that these are pine trees or they're big junipers, but looking at them, I think these are humongous pine trees on this lot, and then there's a clearing right here. So let's go into the history. See, okay, the sales, look at this. State of Arizona. So they just apparently started selling it. You go to the taxes, no billings, nobody, it doesn't appear that anybody's ever owned this before. It says it's not in a FEMA flood zone, and it says vacant land. This lot size is 5,663 square feet, and I don't see any zoning information here. So let's go back to here, see what the zoning information says. It says zoning municipal. What does that even mean? I don't know. But would the county allow you to even develop this? You know, it just looks kind of strange here to me. Okay, we're at another one of these properties for sale, and just because it's on the public website does not mean it's something you should buy. I'm not sure exactly what that means. And then here is this. You can see this tree is fallen, but I think it's some kind of marker. Was right here in the ground, but it's fallen. I'm on this property, and there is some pine trees. I told you I thought there might be some pines right behind me. Here's some pine trees on this property, and I believe, be wrong, this is what you gotta be careful about, but it shows this is the main road. This is Clark here. And then here is Smith Ranch Road. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. And you can see on the map, it shows it comes back here and then it's back in here. So I think it starts around in here, and it's just a triangle. And it's not very big. It's not really that big at all. I think that I'm probably on it now, around in this area. Now, here's a posted private property. Is it part of this property? I don't know. You see where these telephone poles are? But I'll tell you right now, I have seen things on that publicsurplus.com where there's no doubt I would not buy it. And I think this is one of them. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just showing you what I'm seeing here. There is some beautiful trees on the property. You know, could you come out here and just park your RV and camp for a few days at a time? Probably, I don't know. You have to find out what you can and cannot do. Exactly where is the property? Or am I even in the right place? I'm pretty certain I am. But where is it? Where does it actually start? Is it back here further? These are things you'd have to discover, because, you know, there's not going to be a marker. Hey, this is the lot line. This is where things are at. You'd have to get it surveyed. A lot of stuff to figure out. Is this tree on that property? I don't know. How far back is it before it starts? Decide to try to buy something like this, I would research into all that before I bid on anything. You've got to be certain to know what you're trying to buy. There could be a bear hibernating in that little tunnel. You never know. There is. Let's go see. Can we see the end of that tunnel? Looks pretty black. I don't know, man. You never know what's inside there. You don't know. But is this the rippled kind? Yeah, that's the ripple tunnels. Now, my grandfather told me that with these type of tunnels like this in Arizona, I don't know if it would work here. It's so loud. For you to buy something here, you'd have to be willing to listen to all this madness out here. It's just terrible. But those tunnels like that, what's interesting is they've got the rivets, the ripples on that. And I've heard that if my grandpa told me that the old timers used to dig all that dirt out and then sluice it and find gold in it, that it acts as a kind of a natural, I guess, gold catcher. Anyhow, I just thought I'd come by and look at this property, share it with you. There's deer scat right here. A lot of elk and deer up here. I don't think I would bid on this. That's why I want to show you. I want to show you not just properties that I might try to buy, but on this auction site, but properties you want to be careful what you're buying, especially if you don't have any money to lose, which most of us is that way. I'm sorry for the road noise. We're in a very busy place here. Note, that house is right at the corner. You see? Whispering Trails. I mean, right at the corner. Could you get them to give you permission to build or do something on this lot? I don't know. I'm just telling you that it's a small piece of dirt. Doesn't have any zoning information. It just says municipal. I think there's a big risk buying this. You see strange things like this on this site. So beware, buyer beware what you're buying. Be certain you do your research before you start, bidding on things. There's 2 properties I've shown you that have questionable origins of what the property can be used for. Will you have issues with the property? I don't know. You'd have to research that, but be aware you could be buying property that is not marketable, meaning you couldn't resell it. You could have issues. So be careful when you buy something anywhere at all times, including on this website. Just because the government's selling it doesn't mean you should be buying it. But there is stuff on here that I've personally bought that I thought was interesting, and maybe there's something there for you. This one, nobody's bidding on it, so FYI, be careful. Let's click on the 6th page. So this is property number 130. Let's click on that. We're going to start by looking at this property. Now there's one bid out there on this property. This is a small property. It is only 0.12 of an acre. It's approximately the size of the 2 lots that I bought out in the White Mountain Lake Estates. And so we're going to highlight this parcel number here. And we're going to go to our little map here, and this is where it's at. So here is the Quartzsite Street, Sun Valley Road on Interstate 40. Let's zoom out more. And it's over by Holbrook and the Puerco River. I think I said that right. I'm sorry if I'm not saying the words correctly. And so what I find interesting about this is it's very close to the interstate, and you can see this road just coming off right down to it. And where it's at, there is numerous people living right here, and it looks like there could be debris on this property. I'm not sure what that is there, people, but keep in mind these are properties of back taxes. For whatever reason, the individuals that owned them prior did not pay their taxes, and the state reacquired them, and now they're reselling them. So my guess is the type of deed you're going to get is called a limited warranty deed, I believe. You know, you have to call and ask them what kind of deed it is, what does that mean, etc., etc. It may not even be that. It could be a, oh, no, it's probably going to be a treasury's deed. That's my guess. Who knows? You got to ask and check into that. I don't recall when I got the deed. I bought 3 of them on this same website, and I bought 3 properties in total. I don't even recall the deed that it was. Was it a treasury's deed, a limited warranty deed? I don't recall. I really don't. I knew that it wasn't going to be a warranted deed, you know, where it's got all its warranties to it, etc., etc. And again, this is not a crash course on real estate and deeds and so forth. So what I would ask is, if you contact these folks, what kind of deed it is. My guess it's probably a treasury's deed. Who knows? But let's get back to what we're looking at here. There is so many people out here living. Sorry if I'm shaking. It's actually cold in here. I had to turn my heater off because it was so loud. I'm on my porch, and it's 35 degrees for the high today. Yeah. But as you can see, there's some ponding here. There's some water. I don't recall what the FEMA flood zone is for this, but you'd want to look into all these things. Let's see if I can kind of give you an answer on that a little bit on this one. Scroll down and see what it says. Okay, so evidently it says there's some kind of building that is on here, or was. I didn't see any buildings, so it's probably been demolished or removed. But there used to be something here. Now, does that mean that there's infrastructure on the property? It could. I'm not telling you there is, but a lot of times when I'm looking at stuff to buy, I like looking at this, that there used to be a structure there, because there could be the infrastructure for electric or utilities on lots like that. And it makes it more interesting. So again, like I said, it's 0.12 of an acre. It's just a lot. And it does say that it's in the X zone, which is what you would want for a FEMA flood zone, because that means it's not in the FEMA flood zone. X, it means it's out of it. And so the area of minimal flood hazard, usually depicted on the firms as above the 500-year flood level. Now, that doesn't mean most of these towns, they'll have municipal flood zones, and it could be in something like that. You know, there could be a wash running through it. I don't know. And again, you want to do your own research on these people. I'm just kind of giving information. Don't take this like, oh, there's going to be, Sean said, there's going to be utilities here. Sean didn't say any of that. Sean doesn't know what the heck's on this property. I'm just kind of showing stuff and, you know, talking what I see doesn't mean anything. Let's see. What does it tell us? Let's find out, shall we? And you can see this. This will be on the screen. I'm not going to read everything here, but you can see what it's saying here. All right. So, on my previous video, like I did on this video, I showed several... let's try to look like you got some kind of brains inside of there. All right, on the previous video, like this video, I was showing property and going through some of the things, and I actually asked ChatGPT about an MU20 zoning, and many of you have commented up there stating, hey, it says that it's one resident, or you can't put a home on it unless you have 20 acres. And so I want to show you what I asked Chat on that, and talk about non-conforming lots. And that's another thing you've got to be aware of. I have once been involved with a client that was trying to sell their property, and they had a non-conforming lot. In Tucson, Arizona, there's different zonings, just like anywhere in the United States, and this happened to be an R1 zoning. And if I remember right, right off my head, I think it has to be a 10,000 square foot lot thereabouts. And this one was like 6,000 square feet lots. And so during the process of the sale, the title company noted that, hey, this is an R1 zoning and it is not the proper lot size. Thus, it's a non-conforming lot. And we had a big problem. The property was not marketable, meaning that the title company would not insure the title policy on it, and my client couldn't convey that property. That's a big issue if you're buying something. So non-conforming lots can be a bad thing. So you got to check into all these things, and that's what I want to talk about right now, because it looked like maybe there's something like that going on. And so if you arise with questions and so forth, you want to call the county and find these things out. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there at you. So this was the screen that I mentioned earlier about this. And right here is what I wanted to point out. In Navajo County, Arizona, the Royal 20 RU20 zoning district is designated to conserve and protect open land use, promote orderly growth in rural areas, and prevent conflicts between urban and agricultural land use. This zoning requires a minimum parcel size of 20 acres per dwelling unit. Okay, and on the previous video, one of the featured videos that I was investigating on, and I didn't catch this. I'm working on a laptop. I want to show you that real quick. So this is what I'm using, my little laptop, and my eyes are not very good, folks. So with that said, I couldn't see very well. But I gave my disclaimer. I told you guys to do your research and read what was on that screen. I said that. And guess what? Many of you did, because I started getting comments. The next question I went to, and what I'd recommend is you call the county and find this stuff out. Call them and say, hey, this is what I found. If you're interested in buying something like that and you discover something like this, like I'm pointing out here. So you want to do research. You really do. You want to know what you're getting into, because you may not be able to put a home on that. That's what I'm getting at. So you buy an acre of land, you're like, oh man, we're moving out here. And then the county says, no, we're not going to let you do that. Who knows? Buy something and you can't even live on it. Okay, Navajo County. This is what I queried chat to try to get some more information. Zoning RU20, there's a subdivision called Ranch of Golden Horse, and all these lots are about 1 acre, all zoned RU20. That was the previous subdivision. That was the lot that I'm talking about. And if you watch my other video, you understand what I'm talking about. If not, you can watch the other video, and this will make more sense. So this is what chat said. Chat said in Navajo County, the RU zoning designates typically requires 20 acres per dwelling, yada yada. Such as the Golden Ranch Horse contains smaller lots like 1 acre. Even though the zoning is listed as an RU20, this can occur for several reasons. One, pre-existing subdivisions. If a subdivision was created and the lots were sold before the RU zoning was applied, the smaller lots may be grandfathered in. Were they grandfathered in? That might be a question you want to ask if you're bidding on one of these. Okay? Non-conforming lots. I just now talked about that. I've had experience with non-conforming lots. That's the biggest reason why I wanted to talk about this. If somebody bids on my behalf because I say, hey, this is a great piece of property, this could be great for somebody for $500, it still could. I'm not saying that I would not buy this lot, the one previously, that, in the other video. So with that said, you got to do your research. You really want to know, is it going to be grandfathered in? Is there a problem? Can you rezone it? Are they going to allow you to develop it? What's going on? Those are questions you need to ask yourself and discover on any property that you ever buy, especially on a website like this, because you're not being represented by a real estate agent. There's nobody really helping you answering these questions, so you need to do the research yourself to protect yourself. Thanks for watching my video, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, stick around for the free land. This is it. All you YouTubers out there, this is the piece of property. It's 1.25 acres. Let's go look around, shall we? Got some beautiful mountain views. I'm going to show you some of those mountain views. And it does have a lot of quartz on it. Maybe there's gold on it. It's got a little wash right here on it. This is it. I'm walking on it right now. This is where you'd build your home, is right up on top of this hill. Right here is it. This is the home site. This is where you do it. Just level it out. Got 1.25 acres. It's a big giant square. Look at this. That's granite. That pyrite in there. A lot of black iron sand in there. A lot of times there's gold when you see stuff like that. From what I've been told, I don't know. A lot of quartz out here. This could be a good place to pan on your property. I'm not kidding you. You might find gold in this wash right here. You can do some dry gold washing. If I was out here and that's what I was doing, just living out here, that'd be a kind of fun to do that. And there'll be a random pick once we reach our goal of 13,000 in AdSense revenue.